All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Workweek.
Oh, a classic.
It is. It is. And we're going to see if it lives up to the hype. You know, I know a lot of you are listening maybe to prep for a meeting.
Right.
Maybe you're just curious about this whole thing.
Sure.
Or, hey, maybe you're like actually plotting your escape from the 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
So whatever brought you here, you're in for a treat today.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason. And Ferriss, he doesn't just offer some like get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
But like a whole new framework
Yes.
for thinking about work, time, and what it really means to be wealthy.
Okay, so that's the big question here.
Yeah.
Is a 4-hour work week really possible?
Not necessarily literally,
Okay.
but think about it like this. What does wealth actually mean to you?
That's a good point, yeah.
It's not just about money in the bank, right?
No, it's not. I guess it's more about the freedom to do what you want to do
Exactly.
when you want to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ferriss taps into.
Okay.
He calls it being part of the new rich.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's about having the freedom and lifestyle that most people associate with being rich, even if you're not rolling in cash.
I think that's a big aha moment for our listeners.
Yeah.
I think they're all about that. So break it down for us.
Okay.
What is this new rich concept all about?
Well, it's really a shift in perspective.
Okay.
Instead of just, measuring wealth by your bank account, it's about the experiences that you can have.
Okay.
Like, imagine, what would you do if time and money were no object?
Ooh.
Would you travel the world? Would you learn a new skill? Start a business?
Yeah.
That's really the essence of the new rich mindset. It's about aligning your life with what truly excites you.
So it's not about just being lazy and ditching work altogether. It's more about being, I don't know, more intentional with your time.
Spot on.
Okay.
It's about designing a life where work serves your goals, not the other way around.
I like.
And to do that, you've got to rethink what happiness even means.
Okay.
Ferriss argues it's not just the absence of sadness,
Right.
but the presence of excitement and fulfillment.
That's a powerful reframing.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make this shift, right? Like, it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind
For sure.
and forget to even, think about
Yeah.
prioritizing those exciting experiences.
Well, that's where Ferriss provides us with a practical framework.
Okay.
He calls it the DEAL formula:
Deal formula.
definition, elimination, automation, and liberation.
Love a good acronym.
Yeah, think of it as a roadmap to reclaiming your time and designing a life that you love.
Deal.
DEAL.
Okay, let's break it down to
Oh,
the
wow.
definition.
All right, so this step is about getting crystal clear on what your goals are.
Mhm.
But there's a twist here.
Ooh, I like twists.
Remember, we're redefining wealth and happiness.
Right.
So instead of focusing on just material things, think about the experiences that you crave. What would your ideal lifestyle look like? What activities would bring you like genuine joy and fulfillment?
So it's less about like, I want to make X amount of money,
Right.
and more about, I want to have the freedom to travel for a month, or I want to have, my afternoons free to pursue my passion for underwater basket weaving,
Exactly.
whatever that may be.
It's about aligning your goals with your values and aspirations, not just following some predetermined path to success, in air quotes.
Yeah.
Whatever that even means.
Okay, so we've defined what we truly want.
Okay.
Where does E for elimination come in? This is where we get ruthless, right?
Not necessarily ruthless, but definitely strategic.
Okay.
So this is where the 80-20 principle comes in.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Have you ever noticed how, you might spend hours on tasks that barely move the needle?
Oh, yeah.
Ferriss argues that in most cases, 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts.
Wow. Yeah, I think we've all been there.
So the key is to identify and eliminate those time wasters. And one of the biggest culprits, according to Ferriss, is email.
Email, the black hole of productivity.
It is.
What are some strategies for taming that beast?
Well, Ferriss suggests limiting yourself to checking email only twice a day,
Okay.
setting clear boundaries with colleagues and clients,
Okay.
and batching similar tasks together.
Gotcha.
And remember, Parkinson's law, work expands to fill the time allotted.
Oh, that's so true.
So if we let ourselves get sucked into email all day, that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter.
There you go.
Okay, so we've defined our ideal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
We've started eliminating those low-value tasks.
Right.
What's next?
Now, it kind of depends on your situation if
Okay.
you're an employee.
Yeah.
The next step is L for liberation
Okay.
before we get to A for automation.
So deal becomes deli for employees.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we go about liberating ourselves from this traditional 9 to 5?
Well, Ferris provides a roadmap for negotiating a remote work arrangement.
Ooh, working from home?
Working from home, yeah.
Okay.
He uses the story of Sherwood,
Got it.
who successfully transitioned to working from home while actually increasing his productivity.
Wait, working from home and being more productive?
Yes.
Tell me more.
He was strategic about it.
Okay.
So first, he boosted his value to the company by taking on like some extra training and responsibilities.
Okay.
And then he conducted an experiment where he
Oh,
called in sick
okay.
but worked from home those days.
He pulled a Ferris Bueller to prove he could work remotely.
Exactly.
I like his style.
He used that time to track his output and prove that he could actually be more productive outside the office.
Wow.
And then he presented a proposal to his boss,
Okay.
outlining all the benefits,
Smart.
backed by hard data. And to sweeten the deal,
Mm-hmm.
he proposed a revocable trial period,
Okay.
starting with just 1 day a week.
Oh, that's smart.
So it minimized the risk for his boss
Right.
and allowed him to prove the concept.
And I'm guessing it worked out.
It did. Sherwood continued to exceed expectations remotely and eventually expanded his away days until he was effectively free from the office.
That's encouraging for anyone who's stuck in a cubicle dreaming of more flexibility.
Absolutely.
But what about those of us who aren't traditional employees?
Right.
Where does A for automation come in?
That's where the real magic happens.
Okay.
Automation is about building systems and income streams that work for you,
Okay.
even when you're not actively working in them.
Now we're talking.
Ferris calls this a muse, a business that can essentially run itself.
A business that can run itself.
Yes.
Okay, but how do we actually build one of these muses?
That's where,
That's the question.
yeah, that's where a lot of people get stuck.
Right.
And we'll dive deeper into that in the next part.
Okay.
But the key is to think about it as decoupling your income from your time.
Okay.
So instead of trading hours for dollars, you're creating something that generates income, whether you're at your desk or on a beach somewhere.
This is all starting to sound very appealing, but I have to admit I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But don't worry.
Okay.
We'll break it down step by step.
All right.
The important thing is to remember that the 4-hour work week isn't about overnight transformation.
Okay.
It's about shifting your mindset
All right.
and taking intentional action toward building a life you love.
I'm ready for the next step. Let's do it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the 4-hour work week.
All right. So before the break,
Yeah.
we were just starting to explore this idea
Right.
of building a muse,
Yes.
a business that can like generate income without you constantly having to
Right.
be working in it.
Be there.
Yeah.
Be present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is like, I think the part I'm most excited about,
Okay.
but it's also the part where I think a lot of people hit a wall. It's like, okay, that sounds great in theory, but like, where do you even begin?
Right. Where do you start?
To build a business that can run itself.
Right. Yeah. That's where Ferris's practical advice really comes in handy.
Okay.
So he suggests starting with a market that you're already familiar with.
Okay.
So think about your hobbies, your skills, even your past work experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What problems have you encountered that you could solve for other people?
Okay, yeah.
What knowledge do you have that might be valuable to like a specific niche?
So it's more about tapping into your existing strengths and passions, not trying to become like some business guru overnight.
Exactly.
That feels way less intimidating.
Yeah, much more approachable, right?
Yes, totally. Totally.
And then once you have a few muse ideas brewing, the next step is to test them before investing a ton of time or money.
Okay, yeah, I'm all about minimizing risk.
Yeah.
So how do you suggest we test these ideas?
Well, Ferris really stresses the importance of getting like real-world feedback as early as possible.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the example of Sherwood,
Okay, sure. Wait.
our sailor shirt entrepreneur.
Right, the sailor shirts.
Remember how he cleverly listed those shirts on eBay before he even had any inventory?
Yeah, so he could gauge demand without any upfront investment. That was brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By telling people that they were on back order,
Right.
he could see if people were actually interested in buying them before he had to, commit to a large order.
Yeah, so the takeaway there is to, validate your muse idea
Yeah,
before you go all in.
for sure.
Are there other examples of, how to pre-test a business idea.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ferris also talks about Johanna, the yoga instructor who wanted to create a specialized yoga DVD
Okay.
for rock climbers.
Ooh, interesting.
So to test her idea, she built a simple website featuring testimonials from her students and ran some targeted Google ads.
Wow, so even something as simple as a website and a few ads can provide valuable insights. It's all about testing the waters before you dive in headfirst.
Precisely.
Okay.
And once you've validated your idea, there are a few key principles to keep in mind.
Okay, give me the secrets. What are the keys?
Okay, so Ferris emphasizes clarity, simplicity, and a strong value proposition.
Okay.
First, he says your product should have a single-sentence purpose
Okay.
that's easy to understand and communicate.
Right, keep it simple.
Think about Apple's tagline for the iPod,
Okay.
1,000 songs in your pocket.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's clear, concise, appealing. I get it.
Immediately you get it.
Yeah.
Next, limit choices to avoid overwhelming potential customers.
Okay.
Too many options can lead to decision paralysis.
It's like when you go to a restaurant with a 10-page menu, you spend more time agonizing over what to order
Right.
than actually enjoying the meal.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Ferris recommends setting a premium price point, somewhere between like $50 and $200.
Okay.
This not only positions your product as high value,
Right. But it can actually reduce customer complaints
interesting,
because people who are willing to pay a premium price are often more invested in the product
right.
and less likely to, like, make a fuss if something isn't perfect.
It's not just about like making more money, it's about attracting like the right customers and setting the right expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense. And finally, your muse should make a big promise and deliver on that promise.
Okay, so it's not just about, like, meeting expectations. It's about exceeding them.
It's about exceeding them.
Yeah. Are there any examples of, like, businesses that do this well?
Think of Domino's Pizza
Okay.
and their 30 minutes or less guarantee.
Yeah.
It's a bold promise,
Mm-hmm.
but they consistently deliver,
Right.
which builds trust and loyalty.
Yes.
Ferris also shares his own experience offering a 110% money-back guarantee
What?
for his Body Quick supplement.
110%?
110%. So if customers didn't see results within an hour, they not only got a full refund, but he actually sent them a check for 10% of the purchase price.
Wow. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly. It's about instilling confidence in your product and showing customers that you stand behind your claims.
So we've got this amazing muse generating income.
Okay.
But how do we actually, like, step away from the daily grind and start enjoying that freedom?
Right.
I think that's the part a lot of our listeners are really curious about.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Ferris is a big advocate for outsourcing and delegating as much as possible.
Okay.
He suggests hiring virtual assistants
Okay.
to handle tasks like customer service, website maintenance, order fulfillment, even social media management.
Virtual assistants.
Yeah.
I've heard the term.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't really know much about them.
Well, they can be a game changer.
Okay.
You can find skilled virtual assistants from all over the world,
Wow.
often at very reasonable rates.
Mm.
Ferris even shares his own experience working with VAs from India,
Okay.
praising their efficiency and cost effectiveness.
So it's like having a whole team working behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Freeing you up to, like, focus on the big picture and, actually enjoy life.
precisely. And
Yeah.
you don't have to micromanage every detail.
Right.
Ferris emphasizes giving your VAs clear instructions and
Absolutely.
the autonomy to make decisions
Gotcha.
within their areas of responsibility.
Right. You don't want to defeat the purpose of automation
Right.
by constantly having to, like,
Check in.
check in and approve every little thing.
Exactly. It's about creating a system that works smoothly even when you're not actively involved.
Right.
The more you automate and delegate,
Yeah.
the more time and freedom you'll have to pursue those experiences that you defined back in step one.
This is all incredibly inspiring.
Okay.
But I'm not going to lie, I'm also feeling a little overwhelmed. This 4-hour work week thing.
It's a big shift.
It's a big shift in mindset, isn't it?
It absolutely is, but it's important to remember that it's not about achieving some magical overnight transformation.
Okay.
It's a journey,
Right.
a process of gradually shifting your mindset and building a life that aligns with your values and your goals.
Okay, that feels more manageable.
Yeah.
So it's about, like, taking small steps,
Yes.
experimenting, and adjusting course as needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, the deal framework is a tool, not a rigid set of rules.
Okay.
You can adapt it to your own unique circumstances and aspirations.
It's easy to get caught up in the 4-hour part
Right.
and feel like you're failing
Yeah,
if you're not, working some ridiculously low number of hours right away.
exactly. It's really more about the underlying principles of freedom, flexibility, and intentional living
Right.
than about, hitting a specific number on the clock.
So it's not about abandoning work altogether. It's about creating a life where work serves your goals, not the other way around.
Precisely.
Yeah, and that's a goal worth striving for,
It is.
no matter really how many hours you end up working.
Absolutely.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive so far.
I'm glad.
We've gone from redefining success to building a muse that can practically run itself.
Right.
But we're not done yet.
Yep.
In the final part, I think we need to address the elephant in the room,
Oh, okay.
the mental and emotional hurdles that come with making such a big life change.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about the logistics. It's about, overcoming that fear, managing expectations,
Right.
and staying motivated on this journey to a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So we'll tackle all of that and more in the next and final part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good. I'm ready. All right, welcome back. We've covered so much in the 4-hour work week.
We have.
From redefining success to building a muse that can practically run itself.
It's a lot.
It is, but I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, which is the mental and emotional side of this whole thing, right?
Absolutely.
It's one thing to have the plan, but to actually make the changes
Yeah.
and break free from that 9 to 5 grind.
Right.
That can be scary.
It can be really scary.
Yeah.
And you're hitting on a crucial point here.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of more freedom and flexibility.
Right.
But actually taking those first steps can often trigger fear.
Oh, yeah.
Fear of failure, fear of financial instability, even fear of what other people will think.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. What if I ditch the safe path
Right.
and it doesn't work out?
What if you end up regretting it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are valid concerns. But Ferris encourages us to question those fears.
Yeah.
Are they based on real evidence?
Right.
Or are they just, stories that we're telling ourselves?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, those fears are way more exaggerated in our minds than they are in reality.
Yeah, I think there's also this fear of the unknown. If I'm not working 40+ hours a week, then who am I?
Right. What do you do with all that time?
Yeah, how do I even structure my days?
Right. And it ties into a fear of success too,
Yeah.
because success can force you to confront limiting beliefs about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It can disrupt your routine, challenge the status quo, even change your relationships.
So it's not just about figuring out the logistics of a 4-hour work week.
Yeah,
It's about the internal shifts that need to happen too.
it is.
So how do we even begin to tackle that?
Well, Ferris suggests focusing on the potential downsides of inaction.
Okay.
So what will you miss out on if you let fear hold you back?
Right.
What happens if you stay stuck in a job that's no longer serving you?
Okay.
Sometimes the fear of staying the same outweighs the fear of change.
That's a really powerful way to reframe it.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you're afraid of gaining, but what you're afraid of losing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
And even when you are ready to take action, it's crucial to set realistic expectations.
Okay.
The 4-hour work week isn't some magical formula
Right.
for instant wealth and happiness.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's a framework, a guide,
Yeah.
but it still requires effort and commitment.
It's so easy to get caught up in the fantasy, picturing yourself sipping cocktails on a beach somewhere
I know, right?
while your muse is just generating all this passive income.
Living the dream.
Yeah, but that's not the whole picture, is it?
No, it's not the whole story.
No.
Building a muse, automating your income, designing your ideal lifestyle.
Yeah.
It takes work.
Yeah, it does.
And Ferris actually cautions against the allure of mini retirements.
Okay.
Those extended breaks from work, like taking a year off to travel.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why would he advise against taking a long break?
Well, he argues that those extended breaks can actually lead to a sense of aimlessness and disconnection.
Yeah.
He suggests integrating more freedom and flexibility into your daily life,
Okay.
rather than viewing it as something that you only get to experience for a few weeks or months at a time.
So it's more about building a lifestyle that's sustainable
Right.
and fulfilling in the long term,
Exactly.
not just about escaping for a short burst.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
And to sustain that lifestyle, to keep growing and evolving,
Mm-hmm.
you need a mindset of continuous learning.
Okay,
The 4-hour work week isn't a destination, it's a journey.
I like that.
It's about experimenting, adapting,
Mm-hmm.
and constantly seeking out new challenges and opportunities.
So even when we've, like, achieved that 4-hour work week lifestyle,
Mm.
the learning and growing doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
That's kind of exciting.
It's exciting.
It's like there's always something,
There's always something more.
yeah, to strive for.
It's about embracing a life of curiosity, exploration, and continuous self-discovery.
I love that.
And that's something we can all do no matter where we are on our own individual paths.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the 4-hour work week.
It has.
I mean, we've covered so
much
much.
ground.
We have from, like I said, redefining success to building a muse to overcoming, those mental and emotional hurdles that can really hold us back.
Absolutely.
It's given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's a book that challenges conventional wisdom and encourages us to, like, think differently about work and life and what it means to live a truly fulfilling life.
And whether or not you're, ready to take the leap
Yeah.
and escape the 9 to 5, or you're just, seeking more freedom and flexibility in your current life.
Yeah.
There's something in the 4-hour work week for everyone.
Absolutely.
I truly believe that.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
If you could design a life with more freedom and excitement, what would that look like?
Yeah.
And what steps can you take, even small ones, to start moving in that direction?
Those are great questions to ponder.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll leave you to explore those possibilities.
Yeah.
We hope this deep dive has, sparked your imagination.
Inspired you.
Yes, inspired you to think differently about, work, life, and the pursuit of happiness.
It's all connected.
It is. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely.